The difference between what I'm doing now and what I used to do is that I'm taking responsibility for how I want my relationships to be in the future versus living in the pain of what happened in the past. There's a book we're reading called The Dad-Shaped Hole in My Heart. And I'm figuring out how different memories, different experiences, different things that happen like in your childhood can impact all areas of
absolutely.
adulthood. Hey guys, I'm Chiereme. I am 26 years old. The book is like very specific about confronting memories and praying about, asking God to kind of show you why you're still holding on to that memory and what it means and what you can learn from it and how it influences your decisions. I'm a millennial. I love Jesus, and for me, like initiating this date or dating in period is kind of like me saying to what happened back then, I don't care. Like I can move forward with this knowledge, with this wisdom, and still make good choices. And I am trying to figure out this very awkward turtle dating thing. And I'm inviting you guys on the journey. I don't know if you have a name for this yet.
Have no clue.
Okay, but
Do you have a name?
Like the Millennial Dating Chronicles or something. Because I was thinking like
the Millennial Dating Chronicles?
Yeah. I've lived a lot of my life very passively, and because of my personality, I'm like naturally an observer, and I feel like by trying to play an active role in relationship building in other areas of my life, I think I'm like living and not looking at other people living. It's just kind of like invigorating. It's like it's this weird sense of like purpose and control that's not like crazy control, but just like intentionality and responsibility in a good way, and just
an authority that you're taking over your own.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yes, authority that I don't think is a aggressive or out of bounds authority. I think it's like it's personal responsibility and authority that I'm trying to take hold of and take the reins, and not so much try to figure out, with my own love story, but to be present for it.
Have you dated a lot?
No.
Why not?
I wouldn't call it dating, honestly. I went on technically 2 dates in college. One was really just to back up my friend because she didn't want to go alone.
Okay, wingman.
Yep, exactly.
Or wingwoman.
Exactly. The second one, I made the stupid decision of going out on a date with I was an RA, one of my residents' brothers, and if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
Do tell.
No. That was an interesting experience. It was very interesting and actually kind of disappointing. I felt like I was like in a really good place, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And so I was really excited for this date with this guy who was probably 7 or maybe 10 years older than me.
10 years older?
Yeah. It started out really good. And I felt like I was making all these precautions to not get to a place I shouldn't have been in. And it was just a left field conversation that we had. I'm like, what? Like, how do we go from singing Cherry Joe to talk about that? Like, so it was just weird. And like, I literally went home or my dorm and I cried because I'm like, God, like, I did everything that I knew how not to make any wrong moves, and this is still the result I get, So if they give you an option between cooking for you and IHOP, go to IHOP. Just go to IHOP.
Right. Okay. You can have a seat over here. On this.
Tell me about why it is that you wanted to do. Well, first tell us about this experiment that you're doing.
Sure. So, I was online one day and I found this thing called the Dating Project, and it's a challenge, a 5-day challenge to go on a date. To get past whatever your reservations and fears are and to move forward. So backtrack, that was kind of an answer to what I was looking for a conversation that I had with some other millennials. So we're talking about different approaches, like, you know, do guys like when girls approach them? How do different people feel about online dating? How do you feel about Instagram dating, where you're like sneaking in somebody's DM, like, you know, like those type of things. And like, I think from that conversation, from hearing like the perspective of other millennial males, I was like, oh, like maybe no one's approaching me because maybe I'm not that approachable. Maybe I do have a resting face.
A resting
yes.
Resting face.
An RBF.
Okay. RBF. Okay.
Maybe I do have one, not intentionally. I just, you know, when you're not smiling, my face is just kind of like chill. So I'm like, well, maybe there are little things that I could change, because I just found that as a African American Christian woman, people don't really approach me like other people think they do. Like everyone always sounds.
How do they think? Is there an expectation that you should be approached by like a certain number of times or something?
I don't know. Like people, when I say to people, or when they ask like, "Am I dating?" I'm like, "No, not really." And they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well," I said, "I'm not something I'm closed off to it. People just really don't approach me." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, should they? Like, I wanted to also get out of my comfort zone, because I know a big thing for me with dating is like, because the dates that I go on or have been on are so far few and in between, I feel like every time I start, I'm restarting like all over again.
Really?
And
so what do you expect when you go on dates? Like, what is your expectation of a date? Is it that, oh, I'm going to find this person and we're going to fall in love, or this is going to be the one, or like you have no expectation, so you don't retain any of that historical knowledge about your experience and how you felt about it?
All those things. So
okay.
I think prior to this year, I would say I had a lot of expectations. I had those expectations that, you know, the people who ask you are people that you would probably be interested in, and you should probably talk about everything there is to talk about on the first go round. And there's a lot of this weird unnecessary pressure that came along with it. And I think also it's just the added component of being a Christian and dating in the church is like harder. I feel like there's a lot more stipulations. So people don't talk a lot about dating, they talk a lot about being single or being married. And so all you hear is being single or being married. That's
right.
how you think. And so for me, that's how I was thinking, like, I get married, or this has to lead to marriage, or this can't go this way, this can't go that way, like, or I'm wasting my time. And so I guess in an effort to A, not waste time, B, kind of fit into the traditional understanding of what I thought a relationship should look like or be like, and then C, just not really knowing what to do or what to expect. I just kind of created all these expectations in my head. To me, like, I see like this dating process for me as a chiseling process. That's twofold. I think it's chiseling down the actual type of person that I'm looking for to one day marry. So I know it when I see it. And I think for me, it's chiseling because it's going to show me, you know, how I interact with these different types of personalities, how I interact in new experiences, and how I can get out of my comfort zone, which is another big thing for me, is getting out of my comfort zone.
Talk to us about what you did, like, because you pushed yourself outside the comfort zone and you asked somebody out. So how did that talk about that? I think that's an amazing story.
Yes. This particular person that I asked on this first date, I had just seen them like multiple times recently, and usually, like, I know they're there, you know someone's there, but you're reminded every time you see them. And so I saw this particular person like 3 times, like 3 days in a row, and I'm like,
so was he a not bad looking dude, or you just happened to see randomly this same dude, like, hey, maybe something's God's trying to tell me something?
Combination of both.
Okay.
I think from seeing him multiple times, like, you know how you look at people but you don't look at them? Like, I think because I used to always see him in passing and be like, oh, what's up, cool, you know, like, not even. And so because I saw him in person several times, I'm like, oh, kind of cute.
Okay, all right.
So I was like, all right, cool. So then I started plotting. because I'm a plotter. Do something light, don't do something that's super intense. Do something fun, like going to walk in a park or going to a coffee date or whatever. So I was like, coffee date, I know where Starbucks is, I like tea, they might like coffee, that's easy, it's dark, you know. So just in case, you know, I'm gonna slip out. Just kidding. So I was talking to somebody and I look up and I'm like, oh snap. Like in my mind I'm like, there he is, you know, like target is acquired. So I was talking to somebody and I was like, do not rush this conversation to go do this because that would be rude. But he is going out the door. So I like tried to quickly, but not like, you know, in a rude way, in the conversation. And then he was like holding the door for somebody and going on his way out. So I went over, I was like, hey, how are you? I couldn't think of anything else today, so I was like, have we been officially introduced? And the funny thing is, like, he said yes. I was like,
Oh, wow.
Whoops. You're probably right. And then I think he kind of like figured out that I like was like trying to buy time. So he was like, but anyway, my name is, and so I was like, okay, great. Because I really did that because I feel like people forget my name. I knew what his name was, but I feel like people forget mine. So I wanted to like, if I had never officially introduced myself, that's what I wanted to do. We did that, and then like...
They call that a line in dating. That's a pickup line.
Really?
You're throwing out pickup lines, Chiereme.
That is funny. So I do on my line. And then I know the kind of person I am. I know the kind of, especially when I got something to do. And like, my thing 2018, be direct. Shoot your shot 2018. That's my hashtag. So I was like, I gotta be direct. There is no time for small talk. People got stuff to do. So I just said, would you like to go on a coffee date? And I don't know if I said the word date. I may have just said you want to go out for coffee. And there was a pause. And in that pause, I was like, ooh, he's in a relationship. Okay, that's cool. Now, how am I gonna recover? Like, I was thinking about that when he was like, yeah. I was like, okay, great. So, let me get your number. And I got his number, and I sent him my name, so he had it. And after that, we probably the next like 30, 40 minutes, we confirmed details based on schedules, and that was that. And that was that.
Wow. So you just basically booked the dude in the doorway. You just booked him in the doorway like, yo, shorty, yeah, you know my name? Oh yeah, okay. So look, let's go on a date.
Right.
Let me get your number.
Right.
And then, okay, here's my, okay, all right.
Right. All the necessary things.
Yeah.
I know I had to do it that way. Like, later on, I might.
How did you feel after that?
Yeah, it was really, you just did that. Like, that's literally like what I was thinking, like, I just did that. Like, these are things that I think about, or I've seen other people do, and I'm like, I don't know how they did that. You know, like, I was like, I'd be so awkward. But I didn't allow any time for awkwardness. Like,
Okay.
I think that's what I was trying to do. I was like, if I talk too much, I'm not gonna do it. I knew that already.
I don't know what his relationship situation is. He could be in a relationship and he was just like, okay, let me see where this
I
goes.
guess I'll find out.
Right. But what it says to him is that you plays no games, and you are that type of woman that gets what she goes after what she wants, and now you have to try to maintain that this newness
I do.
in front of him.
Right.
And how are you going to do that?
Number one, keep reminding myself that I did that. Like, I just wouldn't be living on that for the next like 6 months. But anyway, I did that. Number two, normally I'm not that direct. But when I think about it, like, this is not new Chiereme, because Chiereme was this way when Chiereme wanted to get internships in college, jobs in college. I remember I was unemployed and I got jobs and internships off of Twitter. Like, there's crazy things that I am capable of doing. But I think that I needed this to remind myself that I am this person, even though I'm not always this person. But there are parts of me that I think I compartmentalize, and I just had not added that part of myself to dating.
See, there's ways to flirt, and I don't know if how your flirt game is. Your flirt game's not good. Okay.
There's a difference between approaching and pursuing. As a female, you can approach someone and it will just be an invitation. What happens if we're not connecting?
Then you're not connecting.
Post first initiated date. It was fun.
Good.
good. So, how'd it go?